Hello and welcome to Netflix versus Cinema. Big stream or big screen? Which one should you spend your hard-earned money at? That is what we will try and answer for you over the course of the next hour or so by going to the cinema, watching things, rating them out of 5, staying at home, watching things on various streaming platforms and rating them out of 5.
Let's get ready to rumble!
My name is Tosin and I am the host. I am based up in a place called Bromsgrove in the middle of the United Kingdom, and joining me, as always, from the Isle of Wight is Shaun Harris.
Hello.
Yeah, and also on the Isle of Wight is Sharon Bollen.
Hello.
And from London, our London correspondent, it is Holly Nessling. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are we doing? Yes, this is the week in which I finally watched one battle after another, and all it has done is solidify my thoughts that Sinners should have won the Oscar.
I think so. That's something like we've spoken about it before. All of us like Sinners. So
yes. Yeah. And the thing is, on this show, I think because we've been sending messages back and forth in our WhatsApp group and everything like that, and it turns out that one of the films that we're going to be talking about this week, we seem to have a schism on the podcast in which it seems to be quite a big disagreement on this film.
Well, I don't know about a schism, but yeah,
we've had a nice good-natured run where we've agreed on a lot of stuff. But yes, as Shaun pointed out, that the fact that we all agreed on Sinners so vociferously tells you how good that film was. And I actually watched one battle after another, and quite frankly, I was just kind of like, meh. And honestly, a lot of essentially this film is baffling me. I do not understand how it got as much love as it did. All the nominations it got. I mean, Benicio del Toro got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and I'm like, what? He already does anything. Sean Penn won for Best Supporting Actor, and I'm like, huh? Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio got nominated for Best Actor, and I'm like,
do you reckon there's any backhanders goes about, or favors, or who you know type of thing?
Well, then it's like when Harvey Weinstein was running Miramax, he was notorious for going around and essentially bullying people into voting for his film, bullying people into voting for his film for the Oscars. So we know that there is some stuff that goes on there, and when you look at the histories of Oscars, there are some weird choices where you go, how did that win? And and so whatever's going on, it's a political game. But but after watching one battle after another, and I thought the film was a bit meh, and I think my reaction to this has gone from anger to meh, because I'm just kind of like, it just shows you that whatever metric they're using to judge these films is a totally different metric to anything that I look at. I why should I bother about it? I mean, I'm just going to go back to thinking, well, the Oscars are rubbish anyway. because even I was going through all the things like Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and I am really happy for her for all the exposure she's getting, or for all the attention she's getting for what she's doing with it. I'm like, go, you make the best for it. But watching that film, it really made me think that there was a case of racist mistaken identity, and they meant to give it to Regina Hall, but instead gave it to Tiana, because I'm kind of like, she doesn't do anything.
No, I didn't feel that was an Oscar-worthy performance. She did it pretty badly, but
it wasn't bad. I mean, that's the thing. It wasn't bad, but I'm just gonna say, you're gonna say best thing that year.
No,
Sinners is right there. Come on.
Yeah, I mean there was literally no competition there. Except,
I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, I've seen it at least twice. You've seen it twice, Sharon, haven't you?
What, Sinners or one battle after another?
Yeah, Sinners.
No,
yeah.
I've seen Sinners twice at the cinema.
Yeah. I've seen Sinners twice at the cinema. Holly?
once at the cinema, about 10 times at home.
Right.
Once and that was enough for me. I was like, no, cool, that is good.
I will keep watching it over and over.
Yeah, one battle after another. I'm probably forgetting as we speak, and I really just don't.
It had the really good car chase. I will give it that.
Yeah, which of course is immediately a star taken away from Shaun's book.
Yeah.
In Shaun's book. I mean, because I know I'm going to stop talking about it because I just don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand the love that the film got. I don't understand how it wrote it because I did not think it was that. It was definite. It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't better than Sinners. But anyway, let's move on to what it is we've seen this week in the cinema. Shaun, tell us.
Okay, so what I've seen, I went with Sharon and we went to watch They Will Kill You. That's a screening. And Happy John. Do you want to give a wave, Happy John? You've seen that too.
Nice.
And what else have I seen?
Project Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. Oh, yeah. Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. And,
That's going to be interesting when we talk about
it. Was it Ready or Not, number 2?
Ready or Not, Here I Come, yeah.
Here I Come. And, and a load of stuff on streaming, but you guys always cover the streaming site, so I'm not really that.
Okay. Cool. And Sharon, how about you?
I have seen Project Hail Mary and They Will Kill You, as Shawnee has mentioned.
All right, cool, good stuff. All right, and Holly.
I have seen nothing in the cinema.
Okay, cool, good. And I have seen Project Hail Mary and Ready or Not, Here I Come. So everything in cinema this week has been seen by at least 2 people. Nice. So, okay, all right, and how about at home? Let's see, go in reverse. Holly, you seen nothing in cinemas. What did you see at home?
I have seen Scarpetta.
Yes.
Dublin Murders and series 1 of The Last Thing He Told Me.
Okay, cool. And Sharon?
I can't remember what I've seen on streaming, which would probably suggest nothing very good. Only things that we don't the sort of program we don't review, like Saving Country Houses, which I don't think we need to do a review of with Penelope.
Someone said to me, apparently there's a Vinnie Jones thing similar to Clarkson, and it said Vinnie Jones, Vinnie Jones made him think of me for some reason. I don't know. I don't think I'm like Vinnie Jones, am I? I think he said it was the mannerisms and the.
The thing is, I as Vinnie Jones has grown older, I can see that.
Oh right, okay.
especially because with this Vinnie Jones show, because it's essentially like him being in the countryside and everything like that, and him, so he's been a lot less London hard man, I think, in this. So I can see it. It's not like 100% match. It's a bit like Holly and Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, cool.
Yeah, Holly has an aura, has a Rosamund Pike aura. You might have a Vinnie Jones aura.
I get Rosamund Pike like quite regularly, and I'm like, I don't really see it.
I'll tell you what, that's not bad. It could be a lot worse.
I am happy to go with it.
Yeah, Holly, you could get Vinnie Jones, but
just I'm not feeling the vibe there.
Okay, Shaun, how about you?
Okay, so on streaming, I've seen rather a lot, but I can't remember half of it of what I've seen. And I think that's the difference between cinema. We've had this discussion very many times. But the latest thing I did watch was a thing called Badland Road to Fury. So it was I'm
sorry, that title, you said it before, and each time I hear it, I just keep thinking it's like Badlands, Road to Perdition, Fury Road. I'm like, someone has smashed that title from better things. Okay, cool. Badlands, Road to Fury. I'm gonna decide as we go along, when I see how many people have spoken and who hasn't spoken yet, what we're gonna do. Badlands, Road to Fury. Okay, cool. Road to Fury. All right, cool. And let us kick off. And without further ado,
what have you seen, Tosin?
Me.
What have you seen?
I have also seen Scarpetta. I have seen Scarpetta at home. I have seen a film because I realized, you know how all of a sudden, every now and then, Shaun, you live on Prime Video. That's the main streaming site that you watch nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
And there's just weird stuff on there. You start finding all these weird sub-genres that exist in Prime Video. Like, remember there was a time when Netflix used to have like these heading topics like, films featuring a strong female performance and stuff like that. And they used to have all those headings. And it's as if Prime has taken that idea and run with it and just given you really, really weird sub-genres. And so there's this sub-genre on Prime Video of Kate Beckinsale kicking ass movies. And,
what they like the Is she the one
Ultraviolet?
that's in the Underworld?
Yeah, like Underworld, and everything like. But no, these are not supernatural stuff, anything like that. There's two that I found randomly that seem to be almost the same movie. Is Jolt? There's one called Jolt, and there's one Jolt seems to be. It's like I watched that, and that's like a low level ripoff of Crank. quite frankly.
Oh,
It's like a low level ripoff of Crank. Like if it, just go see the trailer for Jolt, because I Kate Beckinsale, and it's one of these weird things where they've gotten quite a good cast together I'm like, what? How? and there's another one called Canary Black, which is like, it's just Kate Beckinsale, and apparently she just wanted to go into a bit where she just wanted to kick a whole bunch of ass. And it's this weird subgenre that Amazon Prime has. So yeah, I've seen Jolt on there as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it does seem to pop up a lot. Who was the one who was in the Fifth Element? So that one,
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Djokovic. She pops up in nearly all the same stuff. Like,
it looks very similar because there's like the Resident Evil movies that look a lot like Ultraviolet, which is kind of like, is that the same character that shows up in Monster Hunter? We don't know. It's kind of like they does seem to be something like that. And
there's the witch one. What's her name? It's called Alice something or other, where she's a witch. It's exactly the same as all of the other ones.
Is she the female Jason Statham?
She might.
Is she the female Jason
Black
Statham?
Alley,
Every film's the same. You know exactly what you're getting. Oh my god, they've cracked it. But as I see, I mean, we're going to talk about Nicole Kidman later on. And I think Nicole Kidman has cornered the market for a certain type in TV, on Netflix, on streaming sites, for a certain type of sort of like white, privileged, rich lady. And it's just like, remember there was a time when there was a show, Sirens, that came up with Julianne Moore, and you just looked at it going, yeah, they offered that role to Nicole Kidman. She said, no, you can just see it. You can see it.
It really was. It was Nicole Kidman.
And I think like there are some people who essentially they cornered the market in a particular type of thing, and they just decide, that's it. This is how I'm going to make my money. And they go, and hey, more power to them if they can make money doing that. It's just I just really want to see the business case. How does this work? How do you keep making money out of doing these things? But let us kick off with what is probably the biggest film this week, and that is Project Hail Mary. And this is the film that, as I said, might cause a little bit of a after weeks of us agreeing, this is a film in which we do not agree. Now, I know how two of us think about this. I do not know how the third of us thinks about this. So I saw this film, and from the cinema, I was sitting down there in my chair, and I wrote, Project Hail Mary, go see it. Only to find out that today, Shaun comes and writes on my Facebook thing, or don't. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Because for Shaun to say something like that means that Shaun really didn't like this film. But let us tell you a little bit about what this film's about before we get into the whys and wherefores and all that kind of stuff. So the film kicks off, and you have Ryan Gosling, who wakes up on what turns out to be some sort of space vessel. He's on some sort of space vessel. He can't really remember who he is. He can't remember why he's there, but he seems to know what all the stuff is. He knows that is like some high-powered blah, 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 microscope and everything like that. He doesn't know why he knows that. He realizes that he sees like the essentially the GPS to realize where he is in the galaxy, and he realizes that he's miles away from Earth, like 11 years away from Earth, and he's just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And little by little, there's some flashbacks that show you what is happening, and he's essentially on a mission to go to some far-flung star, because there's something happening on Earth. It's something happening on Earth where something is eating the sun. Something's eating the sun, and that means that the sun is eventually going to die. The planet is going to die along with it, and he has been sent on this thing called Project Hail Mary. If you know anything about American parlance, I mean, Shaun, you're an American football guy, you know all about the Hail Mary pass, which is kind of like, this is our last chance possible, and the chances of it working are actually very, very slim. He's been sent on this Hail Mary mission to go find out, this one star isn't dying. Why is this one star not dying? Maybe that can save us. That's the whole idea. And as it goes along, I mean, they've made no bones about this, because this is based on a book by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian. And in the book, there was a big furore about this film when they released the trailer, because there's a character. The film becomes a two-hander between Ryan Gosling and another character, and the character was revealed in the trailer. And a lot of people were like, "No, how can you reveal that in the trailer? In the book, it's like this whoa moment." But I personally, I haven't read the book, but watching the film, I don't know how you sell this film without talking about that character, because the whole film comes down to the relationship between Ryan Gosling and a character called Rocky. And that is what the film is built on. If not, this film would be something, it would be slow, it would be boring, it would be a little bit like that Brad Pitt movie Ad Astra. Yeah, because it would just be Ryan Gosling on his own in space where no one can hear him do anything. And no one can hear him shave. So that is what the thing about it is. Now, I'm the one who loves this film. I thought this film was brilliant. There was a bit where I was watching it and this film made me cry. I was actually sitting down there with tears in my eyes. And I have an inkling as to why Shaun might not like it, but I'm going to give you first response, Shaun. Go ahead, tell us, what did you hate so much about this film?
I found it really, really pretentious. I thought it was, yeah, I know, I did. I really did. I thought it was, how the spacecraft like's half destroyed, and then it's suddenly the next shot, it's as good as it was again, And I know there's mechanics and stuff and all, but it's just like, oh, come on. And also Gosling, I quite like Gosling, but I prefer him in roles like Only God Forgives and The Driver. But he just really, really annoyed me in this. He just really, really annoyed me. Unconvincing. I didn't believe it. He didn't convince me, and I hate to say, I thought Rocky was. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not think you would like Rocky. Now, no. Let me say what I think you would have thought about Rocky. Yeah. I think that you would have seen Rocky and you'd have gone, this is the bloody Disneyfication of cinema. They always got to put a cute little thing in there so they can sell toys. That's what I thought you would think of Rocky.
Something like that, yeah. And the whole voice thing, I'm like, oh, what? It's like, it's. I just found it really, really sickly, long, boring, and.
Shaun, you're mentioning everything I loved about this film. Sorry, Sharon, you're going to say. So Sharon is the third person who's seen this film. And Sharon, where did you fall on this?
Well, I have read the book, and I really liked the book. And it had the right elements from the book in the film to read. So I really liked it. I fell down on yes, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. That had the right tone for me to reflect what was in the book, but without 90% of the science. In the book, you get, like The Martian, you get a lot about the science. He goes into how you can make something fit within that scientific world. Yeah. So there's a lot of science in the book, but I really enjoyed that anyway. But no, I really liked it.
Yeah, I did think it was less science heavy than even The Martian. I know The Martian dials it down from the book a bit, but I felt like
you get chapters on how they work out how to, at the end, when you have like this, I'll call it the gloop, when they're working out how to make the gloop, sort of the Planet Saver gloop stuff. Yeah, you get chapters on how they process that. Well, and there's but let me tell you, there's 79 experiments, and you more or less read about 79 of them. So there's a lot of science in the books, but I actually really loved the book. It just caught me, and I liked his character, the fact that he was in academia. Yep. He's a failed academic, and so he goes into teaching, but he's gifted in that field, and that's why he's sort of plucked out of this obscurity, is because he was actually in the world of academia before he decided that he wasn't suited to it.
With another character
was he a pilot as well? He was a pilot as well, was he?
No, he wasn't a pilot.
No, that's why he wasn't sick when he goes in the plane.
Yeah. So the thing is that he wasn't a pilot. He wasn't a pilot, and I think that's one bit of the film, because when he wakes up alone on this ship, and beforehand it is intimated that, like, it's shown that there were other people who were alive on this ship, and then as you go along you figure out stuff like that and everything like that, and then he does have to learn how to fly the ship, and that's something I would imagine that in the book would have been chapters. So it would have been
because you understand about how, because the process of his memory loss at the beginning, it's a long process, because when he wakes up in this one, he actually can open the hatch, but in the book he can't open the hatch until he can remember his name, and it's like voice recognition. So he's like saying, open the door, get me out of here, and until he knows, they say identify yourself, so he cannot actually get out of his pod until he can identify who he is. And so the amnesia is like almost like it's a drug-induced amnesia, so that when he wakes up, he gets this really slow drip, drip, drip of what he remembers.
Yeah.
And it took him a long time to remember his name, so he's literally stuck in one room for days.
Well, the thing is, there were bits where I was watching the film and I could see, okay, they have covered a whole bunch of chapters. They've just jumped over a whole bunch of chapters as to why he can now do that. That is like they've jumped up a whole bunch of chapters, and I could see that. And as somebody who has worked in science media, I understand you have to do that because science, quite frankly, the process of doing stuff and learning how to do stuff in science is quite boring and not cinematic at all. So
I think it did trim those scenes down because when I was watching, I was thinking this took like a week for him to even get out of the one room. You can't do that in a film, so it goes like, whoom. So I really liked it actually. I thought because when I won't want to describe Rocky, but he isn't quite as he's described in the book. But then I find they have softened him a little bit.
I'd imagine so. They've made him a little bit more like a dog.
Yeah, so there's a bit of, even though it's like he's a bit more expressive, shall we say?
Yes.
In some, yes. But I did like it actually, and I like Grace because I think I liked the Grace in the book, and so for me it was an extension of the book that I really got on board with, and I actually liked the story, I liked the way they told it. And there's a scene that isn't in the book that I really liked because it was one of the things I thought when I'd finished reading it, I wonder what happened in these circumstances. And so they give you a glimpse of that, which I thought for me really worked.
And I have to say, Holly, your favorite, Sandra Hüller is in the film as well, and she is brilliant. I loved her character. Her sort of, because she's the one who's in charge of this whole Hail Mary project, and sort of like the way she thinks and the decisions she makes. And there's one decision that they show late on in the film that you just kind of like, you can see it. There's, I don't know about you, but I think for different people, at a certain point, you can see what she's going to do, and you're like, oh no, oh no. And I think she sells it brilliantly. And going back to our whole thing about how songs in movies can make you think think better about the song or make you think better about the movie.
Great song choice.
Yeah, she sings, she performs a karaoke. She performs a karaoke thing. Shaun, your face tells me.
That's not the bit that made you cry, was it?
No, that wasn't the bit that made me cry. No, it's a Harry Styles song. It's a Harry Styles song. I'm like genetically predisposed to not like that, but my thing is like, but I think it's like she performs it, and I think she's redeemed that song for me because that was Harry Styles's first single and everything like that. And I remember hating that song when it came out and thinking like, the only reason people are talking about this is because women fancy him. And but I thought that the way she performed the song, I was like, she nailed it. She absolutely nailed that song.
I think there were some bits in this film where it was trying to copy like I think there's one bit in particular where like 2001. Do you know what I mean? It was trying to have
probably.
There's a bit where it's like a little bit where like he's going through stuff. So, and I mean, I really didn't like Rocky's spaceship either. I thought that was a bit odd.
Well, but I thought that was the whole point about it. I mean, I think it is because for me, if you're going to have an alien in a film, I want the alien to be alien. I don't want it to be a human being with something stuck on its face. And it's like, and
this
I feel like
Space Nine, are we?
This is a Star Trek, and that's why probably one of my favorite aliens in movies is the ones in Arrival. Because the ones in Arrival, the Denis Villeneuve movie, are just totally kind of like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it was alien, it was different, like in different atmosphere, and the way they have to go around it, and the way they have to go through the whole communication thing, and the relationship that they built. It was the relationship, Shaun, that made me cry. It was the relationship between Rocky and Grace that made me cry.
There's a couple of bits, but I can't. It would sort of spoil the movie for people to see it. But
it would spoil.
We'll have a chat about that some other time. But there's a couple of bits, but I don't want to spoil the.
Talking about it anymore would spoil it. Would spoil it. Yeah. But the thing is, I think it's one of these things where it's directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who I think I've loved almost everything that they've done, and I think they're really good at giving you a really good buddy dynamic, and I think that they've really nailed the buddy dynamic in this, and I absolutely love the film. I love the film, and I'm going to try very hard not to sort of just give it a 5 because I think just to sort of even out whatever Shaun's going to say.
No. I already made my mind up. Like after I'd seen it, in my mind all day.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to. I'm like, I want this film to rate highly.
It might not be as bad as you think. It might not be as bad as you think.
No, but I genuinely think it's a 4.5 for me.
It's a 4.5. Yeah.
Okay, Shaun, you go with yours.
For me, it's be a 2.75 for me.
Okay, cool.
Not quite a 3. Not quite a 3. Not quite a 3.
I think it's one of those weird things where I feel like all the things that you're saying you don't like about it are things I'm like, but that was amazing. It's like, all right.
I'm a Tosin. I'm a 4.52.
All right, cool. Okay, so I guess what we're saying is go watch the film and decide for yourself. And then,
that's it. Yeah. I think it's got really, really good reviews, and I think on the whole it's very, very popular. But I just found it pretentious, you know.
Well, yeah, the thing is, and I can imagine why, because I can imagine that I don't mean to sort of like look into your head or anything like that, but I can see why some people might not like it. They might. I think some people might think that Rocky is a bit cloying. I think maybe it's like I complained about what film was it? I complained about Hamnet about being manipulative because of what it did, like with emotions and stuff like that. I don't think this is as bad as that, but I can imagine some people would see it as like you're just trying to manipulate our emotions to make us care about a rock. Yeah. So I could see that. So yeah. Project Hail Mary, I would say good. Okay, and ask the question that we ask is that whether you should see this in cinema or whether you should wait for it to come onto a streaming platform. I think it's obvious what I think. I think that there's some scenes in this where I think are totally immersive. There's some space walks and everything like that where I'm like, go see it on a massive screen. Go see it on an IMAX if you can. I'm not a big fan of IMAX, but
if I'd have seen this on IMAX, that might have boosted it up a bit because it was definitely big screen, definitely cinema.
Yeah, this is a dyed-in-the-wool cinema.
I'll tell you something on about that when we say the screen format. It was, there were some bits in the film where I'm sure the ratio changed a little bit. I wasn't.
Probably.
It sort of went from because I think it was probably shot for IMAX. So, but there's
it was shot for IMAX.
I think the Earth scenes where it sort of goes, the screen goes a bit.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you had like a different aspect ratio for the Earth scenes and a different aspect ratio for the space scenes.
I think.
But quite frankly, I'd drunk the Kool-Aid. I was too engrossed to sort of notice. Sorry. How about you, Sharon?
I would say cinema.
Yep.
It's immersive. I found it engrossing and I enjoyed it. So
I think if I would have seen it on streaming, I wouldn't have paid loads of attention to it. It would have been on while I was doing other stuff.
The weird thing about this is an Amazon film. I'm not sure if you noticed at the beginning. It says like an Amazon MGM Studios movies. And I'm not sure if you guys waited until the very end. I waited until the very end. You know when they have the MGM sign comes up and like they have Leo the Lion that roars. They do something very funny with Leo the Lion roaring.
Oh, I didn't know. I wasn't stayed that long.
Yeah, I was doing stuff on my phone after the film going. I was sending out I was typing up like Facebook messages that Shaun was going to shoot down in flames. Or Shaun was going to heartily disagree with. But honestly, Holly, go watch this. I think you would love this film. I'm going to put my head out. I'm going to say,
I think Holly would come.
I think you would love this film.
Going to be
because I think
the grumpy old man on this one.
Yeah, because I think
you'd like the book too. I think you'd like the book.
I plan to read the book now. I plan to read the book because I think Rocky as a character. I think Rocky is an all-timer of a character. I think it's an all-timer of when he's gone straight up in my big screen aliens. He's right up there. All right, cool. And now let's go on to Scarpetta. Scarpetta, talking about Amazon, this is on Prime Video, and this is a show that we have to keep reminding Holly that she has watched. which might tell you how this review might go. It's a show that we have to constantly keep reminding Holly, Holly, you have seen Scarpetta. Holly, you said Holly, you saw Scarpetta. So go ahead, tell us about this, Holly, and I will shove in with my 2 cents towards the end.
Perfect. So once upon a time, an author called Patricia Cornwell started writing a series of books about Kay Scarpetta, who is and now I immediately forget the word for it, a
medical examiner, chief medical examiner.
Thank you. Well, initially she isn't in her career there are many books.
There's 25 books. She started writing them in 1986.
I have read many, but not all of them.
Yeah.
The principle is that the series of books follows the life of Kay Scarpetta and her investigating of various murders throughout the years. Classic, style. This series is set later in her career, but with flashbacks to her first ever case, where she goes back to day one when she first became a medical examiner, the same place, which I think is in Virginia. It's in Virginia, yeah. I would say it is in the books. And she goes back, and suddenly a case emerges that bears a remarkable resemblance to the original case, and a serial killer at the time. And the questions start to arise of, did she get it wrong all of those years ago?
Yeah.
Has a serial killer been walking the streets on her watch and she's messed up? So you have it jumping backwards and forwards in time between the present, where Nicole Kidman plays older Kay, and a woman whose name I can't remember, I don't think I ever
Rose McEwen.
Is an excellent dupe as a younger Nicole Kidman. It's really quite impressive, actually, how they've done the age casting on it.
I think if I just say something, I was going to say something just to jump in that with the age casting, it's quite good. But I do think that the standout for the age casting is because you have Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Kay Scarpetta's sister.
Oh, wow.
And this now has got a great cast. So like you have Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays the older version of her sister. The woman who plays the younger version of her sister was the standout, because you could see that she had studied Jamie Lee Curtis, the way she speaks, the way she does, and nails like a young Jamie Lee Curtis. I was just kind of like, good God, she was so good. I mean, the Bobby Cannavale, the Marino one, he doesn't get points for it because it's actually his son. So Bobby Cannavale is his younger version is played by his son. So it's kind of like, it looks like him, sounds like him, everything like that. So the cast is quite good. And I think Hunter Parrish for Simon Baker, good stuff.
So it's a good cast. And the entire plot of what feels like a million episodes does this back and forth in time, establishing what happened then, because you're never quite sure what had happened in the past. It doesn't until the end to unfold.
It's a real kind of like, ooh, everybody's got secrets kind of show.
Many secrets. I had to rewatch the first several episodes because I couldn't remember what had happened, and I wasn't sure if it was because I hadn't paid attention or not. I'm still not clear, because I'm still not sure I absolutely remember what happened in them either. I don't think it's a spoiler to say at some point there are astronauts. I don't know why. So because I can bring nothing to the discussion as to why there were astronauts. I think it was relevant.
I not really, no. It wasn't really. So there's 8 episodes. By the way, it's Amanda Righetti. And Amanda Righetti is the one who plays the past version of Dorothy. And there's 8 episodes of this, and it's hard. Essentially, you're watching it thinking, I don't think they really had a clue what to do with a lot of these, and so they were, let's chuck that in there, because it's based on 2 books. Because obviously, when you have a character that has lasted for 25 novels, it started in the time when there was no internet. It started in a time when there were no mobile phones, and then now you have but she's kept writing it up to the time when there is mobile phones and all this kind of stuff. So there's some timey-wimey fudging with things and everything like that, and I don't know how much of this is based on. I don't know how much of this is based on her books. I don't know how much of this is based on. I know there's based on, but I don't know how faithful they've been.
I think the AI dead.
Yeah.
That's not from the books.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be, because I didn't think that would be.
There's an AI dead wife of the...
There's an AI dead wife, and it's one of these things where it just so happens that in this one family, you have a chief medical examiner and a FBI agent and a detective and also a computer hacker genius, all in one family. So
a very successful children's book author in Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like... okay, that is quite convenient, but it also feels as if they got to the point where they ran out of ideas, thought they had 8 episodes, and tried to shove something in there to make it last 8 episodes. And then at the end, it has one of my least favorite things in TV. I'm not sure whether this was always the case. I'm not sure whether it was always the case, or whether it's just something that has come with streaming. It doesn't actually end. It doesn't actually end. It doesn't actually resolve. And you're like, what the?
Exactly. Many profanities, all of the profanities. What the actual, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they try and wrap up something, but even the way they wrap something up is really, really unsatisfying. It's rubbish. It's stupid. It's like, that's dumb. That's
by the by, I will just add that the AI dead wife is quite useful as a foil throughout it, though, for people to express their inner thoughts.
You could say that, or you could say as a very useful exposition device. Yes. It's like, we need to get from this place to this. We need this person to find that thing out. Oh, how do we find that thing out? How do we create some drama? AI dead wife. How do we do this? Oh, AI dead wife. And it's oh, good Lord. I mean, I was watching this and I was thinking, boy, you got Nicole Kidman, you got Simon Baker, you got Bobby Cannavale, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, you got Ariana, you got 3 Oscar winners. Like, the 3 women who lead this thing are Oscar winners. Why the hell is this so bad? I'm like, nothing is happening. It's 8 episodes. It could be 3. Nothing happens.
I talked to my parents about it earlier on, and I knew they'd started it. And we have established they've watched the last episode, but they gave up in the middle because they couldn't be bothered. And they are not. We were all genuinely unsure as to whether or not they had seen all of them or had just jumped to the last one. And I think Dad fell asleep, so I'm not entirely sure that.
Yeah, the only thing, it's not even a saving grace, but the only thing that makes this thing handleable. I know that's not a word, but that's what I'm using.
That's a good word. I like that word.
The only thing that makes this thing handleable is the fact that you have these great actors and they're giving good performances. But the thing that they're giving good performances in aid of is total rubbish. I'm sorry.
It's disappointing because the books are really readable. They're not like transformative literature or anything, but they're a good page turner.
Yeah, well, yeah. It gave me the feel. It gave me the feel. I haven't read the book. It gave me the feel of something that's like, you know what, we have this thing's going to be a hit anyway, so we don't really have to try. It really gave me that feel. It's don't waste your time. Is my thing.
Yeah, unless you can watch and find out what the astronauts are about and tell us.
Oh, I can tell you what the astronauts are about, but it's pointless. It doesn't do anything to the story.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to tell me later.
Okay, cool. So,
I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might, care about the astronauts.
How many stars did you give it, Holly?
2.5.
Hey, I'll give it a 2. It just kind of like, because I was watching it and I kept feeling that, was I missing something or is this bad? It's like I couldn't quite put it on. Couldn't agree with that. All right, cool. Now let's go to They Will Kill You with so Shaun and Sharon. Sharon, can you tell us about They Will Kill You?
Yes. They Will Kill You is set in a premises called the Virgil or the Vigil.
The Virgil.
The Virgil.
As in Dante.
Makes sense. So yes, that makes absolute sense now. In the Virgil, and it is a 9-story Gothic-esque hotel. And our main character turns up one evening. She's got a job there as a maid, and as she sort of finds her room and she gets settled up, it becomes apparent that things are not all as they seem. And then as the story progresses, it turns out that she is not all that she seems. Because that a big spoiler, because you've seen the trailer, no doubt.
Yes, seen the trailer.
A temple to
devil worshippers.
They're devil worshippers, Satan worshippers, and they every year they sacrifice someone to the devil. In exchange for immortality.
It sounds so similar to another film we're going to be talking about.
They are selling their souls in return for what they dream of. And she comes along basically to put a little spanner in their works. And it starts off, well, that's it. She puts a spanner in her works because she's got a plan. And it applied, you see a bit of her backstory, so you know why she's there and you know what she's hoping to achieve. And she just wants to do this thing. And she has skills that she learnt through life experience. And
she has a very particular set of skills.
She has a particular set of skills, and she's very nifty with bladed articles. She's quite nifty with improvising weapons from things around her, and she's quite nifty at making quite running repairs to her own injuries. And so that's the story. You don't need to know the story. It's extremely violent in a sort of cartoony sort of way. I think people get their heads cut off, they get exploded, they get eviscerated, they get dismembered, and it's all done in slightly a cartoony sort of way. Because these are you soon find out that the people you are dealing with are immortal, and so if you chop off a hand, that hand will grow back. And this is done to various effects throughout the film, whereas body parts sort of grow back.
Think of legs in not is it dead? What's not Deadpool? Was it Deadpool? What's the one where the think of the little legs?
That's Deadpool. That's Deadpool too.
Yeah.
Also made me think of Abigail.
Oh, and there's a bit that made them like
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Men in Black boots. So there's elements of it. So it's mad, it's fast, it's crazy, it knows what it is, and it's a little bit nuts.
I feel like that might be an understatement based solely on the trailer.
Chaos
on the
trailer. Supreme.
I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, if this film is not some gonzo madness, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Oh, it's gonzo, yeah.
Over the top.
Yeah, it's out gonzo, and it is. But there's an extraordinary cast in there. But they're all sort of. I think they must have been like, who can we possibly get? Because they're all drawn from sort of slightly out there fields, so you wouldn't have necessarily put them all together. But you've got Patricia Arquette, you've got Tom Felton, you've got Joseph Patterson, you've got James Remar. He was in there.
Oh yeah.
And there was and Heather Graham.
That's what Happy John said.
When you look at them, you're thinking and you think of some of the films they've been in. Some of them have been quite cult films. Thinking you've obviously drawn this cast in here because you want to blow people's minds to see these people all together in the same screen. But yeah, it's Crazy Town. It's Crazy Town.
with Zazie Beetz being the main person who's walking around and beating everybody up. So I feel like that is all for me anyway. That's all I need plot wise. I don't really need you to go into any lore or anything like that.
No, there's no.
It's her walking around kicking ass. so that's about it. So what did you think about it?
Oh, me?
Either one of you.
Well, for me, if I give my because it left me cold. It might have been because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to watch it, because I wasn't sure what I was going to get. When you go into a secret screening, you don't know whether you're going to get full-on horror or whether you're going to get a gore splatterfest or whether what you're going to get. So I think this had more. It was like more like I wouldn't really describe it as a horror film. I would describe it as just like really sort of blackest of black humor. And so I was approaching it as if it was horror when it wasn't.
Can I say something?
It left me a little bit cold because I didn't know that it's going to be black humor. I thought it was full on horror, and so to me, I wasn't in the right frame of mind for it. So it left me really very cold. I think had I known that it was going to be like this crazy orgy of madness, I probably would have been a bit more appreciative of it. But when I was watching, I was a bit like, what is this about? What tone are you reaching for? So I wasn't. I think had you gone in there with a bit more knowledge, you might have appreciated more. But it left me cold. But that was just because I think it took me out unawares.
I'm expecting grindhouse, like 70s grindhouse with better effects. But anyway, Shaun, carry on.
Yeah, that's it. Shaun, and I know I could hear I was with three gentlemen. Two of them are here, and I could hear chuckling from further down the road. But for me, it left me a bit cold.
Okay, so Shaun.
What? Okay, yeah. So, well, for me, this was, it was stupid, but it was fun. I had a really good laugh. I had some big laugh out moments, and there were quite a few nods to, like, Shogun Assassin and the Incredible One-Armed Boxer. Reminded me a little bit of The Man with the Iron Fists. It was a little bit of a homage. And I mean, I don't know. Is it sometimes with you, Sharon? Is it like the Satanist thing that doesn't really work for you?
Not in this, because it wasn't. I didn't really regard it as being really satanic.
I'll tell you something.
That didn't bother me. No.
No, the final scene is like, yeah, it's just like crazy. I really liked the possession, shall we say, in that.
Yeah.
I
watched it, and it was so easy to defeat the devil. I've got an album still, in the vinyl. I've got a vinyl LP called "To Hell with the Devil," and it was by a heavy metal group, a Christian heavy metal group from the 1980s called Striper, and it's a double sleeve one. And the picture on the back is a picture of a devil being lassoed from electric guitars by 4 long-haired angels, who are the 4 members of the band. They're like 2 really got long blonde hair, who got dark hair. And in my head, I was thinking, if only they turned into Striper and like lassoed it with like their electric guitar.
That would make a good,
back into hell.
That would make a good film. That would make a good film, because I think
devil.
I mean, the Christian films. I remember when I was in Enfield, and I went to the City World up there, and the whole floor. They must be a big thing in movies.
No. Just like, if that was a Sunday, that was probably a church.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. But they were definitely showing films in cinemas, because you had children going in.
So I appreciate that. I wasn't in the frame of mind, but it wasn't about the satanic thing. That was a side-by-side thing. So, I was hoping it might have turned into a Striper album cover.
So, how many stars would you give this?
Well, go on. No, go on. You go first, Jan.
For me, it was, I would say, a 2.75 for me.
2.75. Yeah, I mean, for me, we haven't heard from John yet, but we will.
I'll say it's free.
But for me, okay, I enjoyed this. To add some good knots. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece or anything like that. For me, this would be a straight 3, straight down the middle 3. So,
right.
But I didn't think it wasn't sort of. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like anything new, and it was funny, and the last thing was just really, really good.
Yeah, because this film, the storyline. Okay, by the way, hello to Happy John, who is in the background behind me.
Sorry, Happy John. Do you want to
say? Who is our friend John, who often goes and watches films with Shaun, with Sharon in the cinema and everything like that. You said 3 stars as well for this, because you saw this as well.
Yeah, I say 3. It was enjoyable but forgettable. It felt more like an action film. It felt more like they were showing off what the lead actress could do. Like,
Zazie Beetz.
Trying to promote as an action star.
Yeah.
A lot of Wes Craven references. You hear a lot of his films at the end. That's usually the people beating the crap out of the bad guys, and it felt like this. There's a lot of the people under the stairs references as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. We do need to move on. we need to move on really quickly, because it's almost 7 and we have 3 more things to talk about.
Oh, right.
So Holly, quickly, can you do The Tower season 1, please? Gemma Whelan, ITV detective stuff.
We'll talk incredibly fast about this. It is a detective series where, as you begin, you establish that a young woman and a detective have died falling off a tower block. The series involves the unpicking of what had happened, going back to when this young woman, who was from a refugee family, had originally come in contact with the police, and going back and forth to work out if there was police misconduct, who had done what, whether or not there had been, whether or not it was an accident, whether or not it was deliberate, what had gone wrong, as there had been a child present as well, and the young woman who had died had taken the child to the top of the tower. And you open knowing pretty much all of this. There's not much more you can genuinely say about the series beyond that, without being a load of massive spoilers, but it's a well put together series. The cast are really good. It does keep you questioning right up until the end. There's interesting relationship dynamics between the characters, and you do keep finding things out as you go along. It's definitely worth a watch. There has been at least 1, if not 2 additional series, which are...
Yeah, 2 additional series.
One of which I think may be on now.
Yeah.
Hence Netflix. I think it was Netflix. No, it wasn't. It was ITVX.
It's ITVX, yeah.
Threw it up at me, not in a bad way. I very much enjoyed it. I'll give it a 3.5. I think would recommend watching. It does not requires a bit more attention probably than I gave to it because we know I'm easily distracted. Watch it.
Cool, good stuff.
Under 2 minutes.
Thank you very much for that. Nice. And I'll say good showcase for Gemma Whelan, who you might remember as
Yana Greyjoy, Game of Thrones.
That's the one. Greyjoy, Yana Greyjoy from Game of Thrones, and this is her very different. Everything I've seen her in, she's nothing like Yana Greyjoy. And was that John?
She's a chameleon. I've seen in other things. She's
always different. Yeah, I've seen it in some like comedy skits, and you do not recognize her. You just do not recognize her. Okay, but one thing I forgot to ask is, They Will Kill You, Netflix or cinema? Where do you think you should watch it? Watch it in cinemas, or wait until it shows up on TV?
Either, I think. Either.
Yeah, I would think it'd probably suit itself. It reminded me, what it reminded me of is when we used to have video days at home, and we always used to get around the telly, get our videos out, put them in and watch like 2 or 3 back to back. It would fit into that sort of setup when you've got a group of mates, popcorn, pizza, you're just watching 2 or 3 films, boom, boom, boom. It would suit that perfectly.
Cool, awesome. I was thinking that especially when I found the subgenre of Beckinsale kicking ass on Prime Video. And now we're going to go back to cinema, and we are going to talk Ready or Not 2, the film, the film it's a sequel to a film that I think inspired They Will Kill You, because it's pretty much the exact same storyline. It's pretty much the exact same story as They Will Kill You. So if you haven't seen the first Ready or Not, essentially Samara Weaving plays a woman called Grace. She gets married, and on her wedding night, the rich family she marries into tells her, oh yeah, we have this little gay thing that we do. You have to pick a card and we have to play a game, and it's just a welcome to the family. And she picks out a card that says hide and seek, and she thinks it's just like a little game and everything like that. But then they all look at each other with looks in the eyes, and the next thing you know, she goes to hide. They start picking out weapons, and then essentially it turns out that there is some pact with the devil where they have to hunt her down until they have to hunt her down, and if she survives until dawn, she wins. And if she survives until dawn, bad stuff happens to the family. So it's kind of like they're all fighting for their survival. And in Ready or Not 2, this picks up straight after the first one, where she finishes. I think I've got to go back and watch it first, but I'm pretty sure they changed the final line of the previous film, because I'm pretty sure the final line of the first one was effing rich people.
No, it wasn't. It was in-laws.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. I watched it recently.
Really? I'm pretty sure in-laws. I'm sure what did I hear? Evan Rich? Okay, never mind. Anyway, so it's okay. So they didn't change the final line of the first one. Yeah, it is. But she ends up going to the hospital, everything like that. Because obviously no one's going to believe her that the devil killed a whole bunch of people. The police are like, you are going to go to jail because we have a house full of dead people and you are covered in blood. None of it is yours. The house burned down and you're the only one alive. And for me, that's one of the most realistic things to a horror movie ever. It's like, you're the one who survived. We're going to pin it all on you. But what happens is that you now find this sort of like almost sort of John Wicky thing where you find out that not only was that family, but there's a whole bunch of other rich people from all around the world. And the fact that this family is no longer in the way has opened up a seat at the table, and they all have to go for the seat at the table by, guess what? Trying to hunt her down, and if she survives until dawn. So, like, I think one thing I'll say about this film is that, you know how you have some sequels and they put you back into the same thing. It's like the Die Hard 2 thing of how can the same stuff happen to the same guy twice? Like, the same stuff happens to the same guy twice. But I feel like in this film, they gave enough of a reason and enough of reasoning to be like, that does make sense. That does make sense. Although, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record on this because I keep complaining about this when it comes to my thing about colonialism and I talk about my thing about representation, especially of Africa. They have all these people from all around the world. They show them coming from China, from London, and everything like that. No Africans. And I'm like, look, we have rich dicks too. We have rich people in Africa who will definitely kill a young woman so they can get rich. As a matter of fact, that was actually a major feature of my childhood. Children disappearing because people were taking them for ritual sacrifice so that they could get rich. That was amazing.
Potentially. Don't forget long life.
Yeah. That was like a big thing of my childhood, that we were told, be careful when you go out because somebody could kidnap you because they want to get rich. And so I'm thinking, like, and now I think about it, Ready or Not is actually an African film that just doesn't have any Africans in it. But
the way the Nollywood version.
Yes, exactly. So essentially that's the storyline of the thing, and it's about her surviving till dawn. This time around, you have a sister in it, but that's kind of like, I think they've just put it in there for blah, 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 blah. And her sister played by Catherine Newton. And but one thing I would say about this is that it's a little bit believable, because what you have here is somebody who isn't trained in survival trying to be killed by people who aren't trained in killing. So it just leads to all sorts of stupid things. Shaun, what did you think?
Okay, for me, yeah. What did I think? Well, I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
No.
The first one was all right. It was nowhere near up to par as the first one, and I think it was just probably cashing in. And again, it was like we said with They Will Kill You, and Sharon was saying, I mean, you are no way going to take that much punishment. It's just not going to.
There is. And
I know you got. I mean, the whole thing's daft, really. So it doesn't really.
The whole thing is daft, but there's a certain level at which you go, there's only so much the human body can take.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if we just clean you up and give you a new dress, you're done. And I'm like, it takes you out of the film a little bit. Yeah,
it really does. Yeah. So. I mean, for me, it wasn't as good as the first one. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't think it was any great shakes. I didn't think there was anything new. I didn't think there was anything. And I mean, some of the acting, especially the younger, should we say, some of the people that turn up to do the killing.
Yeah.
Because you've got this thing, it goes down the generations, doesn't it? So if they're like the father's been killed, then the son has to do it, and if that son gets killed, the daughter has to do it, and then so you've got down. And I found that a little bit, I don't know, especially the chap that gets scared. Anyway, but yeah, so for me, this is just again, it's a 3-star. It's nothing special, nothing great, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah,
3 stars. Not a patch on the original, but I wasn't bored.
Yes. Well, I think part of the thing was the original. There was this surprise with it, like nobody knew what the heck it was, and there's this element of surprise that is now gone, and like this if whatever sequel they were going to make was not going to bring that back. But I think that they've done well to actually make something that still feels like it's of a part of the first one. I thought it was quite funny in places. I would give it a 3.5. I would go a little bit higher than that, but yeah, it's not as good as the first one. But I never expected it to be. No. So okay, and now what do you think? Should you see it in cinemas or should you wait and watch it on TV?
Again, either or. I think they're both. Either you could watch it on either.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking possibly TV. I'm thinking. I feel like I'm not sure that there's much you get from it in the cinema, unless.
No. Yeah.
I'm not sure that there's much you get from it in the cinema, unless it's kind of like one of those things where I think somebody was saying Friday night, get everybody around, everything like that. If you get a whole bunch of people watching this together, it could be fun because there are a lot of things. Usually, mostly provided by Elijah Wood, because Elijah Wood is in this film as a lawyer, and he's fun. His character is fun. All right, cool. And now let's go to a final thing, which is going to be at from streaming from Prime Video. And Shaun, we're going. I want to find out what this word salad film is. Okay. Badlands Road to Fury. We put a whole bunch of popular film titles together and see what will happen.
Okay, so this film, it's like should we say, it takes place in the future, and water's really, really scarce. So I suppose there is some water's really, really scarce, and it's in this really arid region of America. But they have got robotics, and there is water, and it's basically a western. It's basically a western. So you've got this father who's trying to bring up his family, and he's quite he helps other people as well. He's quite a good person.
Yep.
And then you've got the young Nicholas Hoult that is really angry because he feels that this chap has taken his land. So there's I can't say exactly what happens because it would be a spoiler. So basically something happens to the father, and there's a girl in this, Ellie Fanning, who's the daughter.
Oh yeah.
Nicholas Hoult, they have a sort of thing, so he's hoping to get the land by marrying her, and there's these strange robot things, which like it's, I don't know, it's a very, very odd film. It's a very, very strange film, and it is really, really quite slow. It's quite a slow pace, but so.
How old is it, Shaun? Because when you say young Nicholas Hoult, because he's not a youth anymore,
it's a 2014.
2014.
Okay, so
yeah, they do look really, really young, because Michael Shannon's in this, and he looks incredibly young. It's like, he doesn't look like General Zod. He looks like he's still a bit rugged and a bit haggard, and he's
always been rugged.
Lumberjack shirt. But I really like those two. I like those two as actors, So I thought the acting was really, really spot on. And even Ellie Fanning, I think I quite rate her highly as a.
She's good. Fanning's good.
So the acting was really, really good. But basically it's a Western. It's a bit of a revenge film. It's tries to be a bit sci-fi. It's not artificial intelligence. It's mechanical sort of robots and things. So
yeah,
that's one thing that's quite good about it. So that's basically all I can say about it. Very slow paced. There's like, with the Westerns, you get the eyes and the slow. Slow revenge. Slow revenge film. Slightly long.
How many stars would you give it?
Probably, I don't know. I quite like the acting. I could see the intrinsic quality of it. So this is probably going to get 3 as well. This will probably get 3. I think some people could find it really, really hard going, to be fair. Because it is very slow paced.
Directed by Gwyneth Paltrow's brother. Yeah, and yes, and what I said about the title, I am 100% sure that that's exactly what happened, because this film was originally called Young Ones. It was called Young Ones, and it's only called Badland Road to Fury in the UK. So I think what happened is that it got released in America, didn't do that well, and then somebody went, hang on a second.
And just like we do, yeah.
We got Nicholas Hoult in this film.
Yeah. Well, I think in America, because when I did The Good Boy last week, in America, it's called Heel.
It's called Heel, yeah. It's called Heel, yeah. I'm pretty sure that somebody just thought, well, let's put something here. We go. Let's make word association.
Yeah, if you think it went to Amazon and they've put Road to Fury, Nicholas Hoult.
Yep.
I think it was to get people to watch it, because it did. To be fair, that was part of the reason why I
Yeah, what is that? Because I typed in Badlands Road to Fury into Google as you were talking, and the first thing it brings up is the guy who played Immortan Joe in Fury Road. So it's like, we see what you're doing. We see what you're doing.
Exactly. Because this would have been made, wouldn't it, before Fury Road?
No,
after. Yeah.
I'm trying to think because Fury Road was. When was Fury Road?
It was Fury Road.
No, that's got to be over 10 years ago, because when we were still doing the
Fury Road was 2015. 2015, yeah. But the thing is, like, I think it was released in the US in 2014. I reckon that it was released in the UK after Fury Road.
Right.
I am pretty sure this film would have been released in the UK after Fury Road, which is why they would have done that.
Yeah. Sneaky little pesky Amazon.
Sneaky. It's kind of like for instance, if you ever find a film called Mean Girls 2, has nothing to do with Mean Girls. It was actually a film that was made, had a different title. Then when they decided to release it, they decided slap Mean Girls 2 on it, because then they could get a couple of people to watch it. And it's like, but anyway, that's enough. That's it from me. I need to run. But until next week, when we will find something else to watch that isn't Scarpetta, it is a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
A goodbye from me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Please do find us on all social media at Netflix VS Cinema.
Who won, by the way?
Oh, good God. Who won this week? Who do you think won this week?
Oh,
I think, I don't know. It's all over the place.
I think maybe Cinema edged it.
I think it's Cinema because Scarpetta was meh.
Cinema.
You're right. It is Cinema. 3.34 versus 2.91.
Right.
Because
I just want to, my very last PS. Chuck Norris died, obviously, this week.
Yes, Chuck Norris.
He holds a precious place in my mum's heart, because she loved Texas Walker, Texas Ranger.
And
so yeah, we had
my father's.
Mum used to watch that every single night, Walker, Texas Ranger, and she watched it because she liked Chuck Norris's face.
Oh, bless.
She asked her, why do you watch it? I like his face.
All I
Good
can
enough
think
reason.
All I can think is God's fault.
There are worse readings to. Yeah, he hated that. You know, he hated that bit of dodgeball. He hated what they did with him in dodgeball. But the thing is, I'll send you guys a link to a tribute page, well, like essentially like a tribute on Facebook, and the comments underneath it are such a loving tribute to him in the most. You know, the Chuck Norris memes that showed up on the internet, like. Yeah. It's all just kind of that, and I think it's just great and it's brilliant. But yeah, Chuck Norris, big part of my childhood, and my childhood is dying. And on that note, goodbye.